Welcome to this meeting of full council of Bletchley and Fenny Stratford Town Council, being held here at Newton News Pavilion on the 11th of March 2025. I am Nathaniel Kelly Wilson and I will be chairing this meeting. Before we start, there are some housekeeping points to note. We are not expecting a fire drill, so if the fire alarm sounds, please leave as quickly as possible. Fire exits are located to the front and rear of the room. Please could you all turn off your mobiles or put them to silent. We want everybody to be able to hear, so please respect whoever is speaking by not chatting amongst yourselves. Also, everyone should be aware that the meeting is being recorded. Recording will be streamed on our social media channels. For the benefit of those people who are watching it on social media, I will now ask the members of the committee to introduce themselves, starting with Aidan.
I'm O'Rourke, Bletchley and Fenny Stratford Town Council.
Samantha Brown, Lakes Estate.
Ray Blackman, Fenny Stratford.
Ron Home, Birmingham. The same myself.
Daniel Adamo, Newton.
Ophelia Fernandez, Fenny Stratford.
Richard Graham, Vice Chairman of the Council, Central Bletchley.
Whichever somebody Newtonese.
Craig Scott, Manor North and Eton Leeds.
Ed Keane.
Marie Weiner, Lakes Estate.
Terry Stevens, Manor South.
I'll now ask the officers here present to introduce themselves as well.
John Fairclough, Deputy Town Clerk.
And I'm Delia Shepherd, Town Clerk.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. We will now go on to the agenda. Can we please note councillors' apologies for absence?
Yes, I've had apologies for absence from Councillor Ely and Councillor Inman.
Thank you. Item number 2, are there any councillors' declarations of interest in matters on the agenda? I will take that silence as being there are no issues to be raised here. Next item on the agenda is to approve the draft minutes of the 21st of January 2025, to item 3, and it's page 1 in your pack. I will, unless the members kind of say that they have any issues with the minutes, I will consider that they are okay. Thank you. So you note that they are okay and that you have your agreement to sign a copy of the draft minutes of the meeting as being accurate. We go on to the next item, public speaking. I'm guessing there is no members of the public registered to speak this evening.
Not this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is item number 5, to receive the draft minutes of any recent meetings of committees of council and to consider any recommendations. So there is 5.1 minutes of the meeting of Tuesday, the 4th of February, the Finance and Governance Committee meeting. There are no recommendations. Does anybody have any issues with the minutes of this meeting? No, I will consider that they are accurate. Or sorry, I will consider that they are noted. Next item is 5.2. Tuesday, the 18th of February, the Community and Environment Committee. This recommendation, so firstly, would say that they are accepted. Thank you, and I will ask the chair of the committee. I think that there is a recommendation to council.
Yes, so you've seen your packs, what the Bletchley and Fenny Stratford Town Council emergency plan. So following the event that happened at Stevenson House, where the residents were evacuated, there was basic welfare facilities provided to the residents. However, we need something a bit more robust to enable us to react to any emergency situation, respond immediately. So you'll find it's a very useful document, and it can be used at very short notice. So you need to be able to respond to it and have it sort of close by should anything happen. There are some key sites in the parish, lots of contact numbers, and it's some really easy. If you don't read the whole document, there's an easy flow chart where you can react to a sudden emergency without notice, a slow onset emergency. And then there's a response coordination structure with roles, so who takes command and what we do. So there's also a risk assessment, which is a really good piece in the document. And what that does is shows different scenarios, such as flooded, electrical failure and snow, and the possible effects, i.e. what neighbourhood we have, residents may be affected by that, and vulnerable people, etc. So the recommendation is to approve this very useful resilience document. And my ask for you is to check that the key contact details are correct and really find time to digest this document and have it accessible wherever possible.
Thank you.
Propose that we accept.
Okay. So any members got any questions or any comments they wish to make before we go to vote? Craig?
Something glaringly that I missed was the Eton Leeds Residents Association contact details are missing, so if I can pass them on.
Thank you. Okay. So all those.
Sorry, it's still got Jeanette Marlin under Lakes Estate Residents Association.
That is
It's disgraceful, actually. It's been many
This
years.
is the best one, wouldn't you?
I think we know what amendment we need to make there.
Okay. All those in favour of adopting the recommendation. However, mindful that there needs to be a couple of minor adjustments, but I think it is a document that is living and will constantly be changed anyway. So all those in favour of the recommendation, anybody against, any abstentions? I count that as unanimous. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is planning. So six. Oh, sorry. No, I've missed
There's a report for noting.
Sorry. I have missed 3, the Employment Policy Committee scheduled for the 4th of March. The planned meeting was postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. The date of the rearranged meeting will be confirmed, but is provisionally planned to be on the 25th of March. And a short clerk's report is attached for information and noting, and that appeared at page 39 in your packs. Do any members have questions or comments on the report? No, I will take that as noted, and we will move on. Thank you. Item number 6, planning 6.1 PLN 2025/0208 107 Hunter Drive, Milton Keynes, MK2 3LY. Proposed construction of a single-storey rear extension with a gable roof. Proposed replacement of existing flat roof above garage to be replaced with a gable roof and existing garage converted to habitable space. Proposed installation of solar panels on existing gable roof. Any comments or questions about this item? So is it agreed that we will make no comment on this application? Agreed? Thank you. So we'll make no comments, but we'll move on to the next item. Number 7, to agree a response to the Milton Keynes City Council's formal consultation, which is in response to a formal community governance review. And this is taking place because the ward boundaries are currently being reviewed by the local government boundary committee in England, with draft proposals out to consultation. We have previously responded to that local government boundary review, so you will remember that. And there are final recommendations expected on the 3rd of June 2025 for that local government boundary review. And this will be ahead of all-out elections, so all city council members will stand down and be up for election in 2026. Is there anything that you wanted to say about this?
No, just to say that I haven't drafted a review for you, a response for you to consider, but I know that there are councillors who've got views about what how the town council should respond.
So Ed.
So there's two main areas, I think, in terms of the parish ward boundaries in Bletchley Fenny Stratford Town Council that just need a bit of tidying up. I mean, we could make further comments about things like names of wards if we wanted to go further if we wanted to, and I don't know if anyone does. But in terms of the current wards and their boundaries, the Newton Lees ward and the Manor South ward, that boundary line just needs to be reviewed so that it incorporates the whole of the playing fields here at Newton Leys and the development just over there. Because currently that sits in the Manor South ward, where actually really probably should sit in the Newton Leys ward. And the other bit is, and this is a bit of a weird one, the line on Princess Way between the Fenny Stratford ward and the Queensway Denby ward. On Princess Way, it's such a squiggly line that you have some properties that are in one side and some that are others, all on the same side of the road, and it just literally goes like this. So, and that's partly because of where buildings have appeared in the last 10 years, so where some of those flats have appeared, and that's what's caused some of those discrepancies. I would recommend that we ask for that line to be tidied up between those two boundaries. That's a bit of detailed knowledge that I've picked up over some time. That's weird.
Looking on this map as well, I also kind of think that Manor South ward looks very weird in that all the area around Mill Road, you've got a tiny bit of got a tiny area of which you can pass through to get into all of that. And it does look odd.
So I guess the fundamental question is: do we want to look at the wards and do they actually make sense geographically, and or do we just want to be tidying? Is it a tidying up exercise, or is it? Will we name it just the Lakes Estate? The Lakes Estate be just one single ward, rather than two separate wards, possibly.
Does anyone else have any other comments or they want help to add? This point?
Just so that I can be clear about what's on the table at the moment. So there's two proposals. One that we recommend that the boundary of Newton Leys is extended to include playing fields and the proposed new development.
Yes.
Which will come out of Manor South.
Yeah.
And then it's the Denby ward with Princess Way and Queen's Way, and to just try and tidy up the houses on either side.
Yeah, Princess Way, yeah. I just also wondered whether we would want to say, do we recommend the two Lakes Estate wards become a single ward? Which would mean lots of things.
No, but it would make sense. It's a lot easier to manage.
And who calls it each ward?
What difference does it? Who do they contact? It doesn't matter, does it? They'll contact me. I'll pass them to Ed.
His house.
I suppose that one of the reasons why the Lakes Estate is divided in that way is so that they're three-person wards. We don't have any wards that have more than, at the moment, we don't have any wards in our patch that have more than 3 people. So there would be 6.
The proposals for the Newton Leys ward from the Boundary Commission was, and the stuff from the Boundary Commission was that it should be increased to 4. The draft proposals.
The
LGBTE.
what on the parish?
Or they made one proposal around Fenny Stratford Town Council, and also increased the Newton Leys Council's plan number 1.
Mm-hmm. That would be a 4-person ward then.
Are there any other comments that people think that we should make in any other areas?
So I think if we're going to propose that the Lakes Estate wards are combined, there needs to be a justification for it to be put forward.
I think it's an identifiable single location. With the amount of changes that are going to happen on the Lakes Estate in the next year, with phase A of the Lakes Estate regeneration completing, and then phase B, the design of the Lakes Estate and where you would draw a line is fundamentally very different, and therefore it should certainly be one ward for foreseeable.
It's also got one neighbourhood plan that covers
Exactly.
That's true.
So well, actually it would allow kinds of, and it would mean that students along with Terry.
The rest of Queensway come under central Bletchley. Do you have the whole of the Queensway
That is central Bletchley, isn't
I think
What about to the sort of the roundabout?
the names of the wards are quite confusing. If we're going to get into the naming,
Yeah.
the names of the wards are quite confusing.
Matter more should be the word Eton.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
It does actually.
I think there
This
would
is
be,
the map, this is, look.
I think there would be some people in central Bletchley or that ward, or there'll be some people in Fenny Stratford that say there's quite a bit of central Bletchley that's actually in Fenny Stratford as well. For me, I don't know, this may be unpopular, but I think that Granby needs to be put in with Queensway and Denby, because I know there are reasons why, but and of course we want to ensure that Granby is represented, but I actually think there is, you know, coming from a place where I was the sole councillor for a really long period of time, it's actually very difficult to cover a really large area on your own. And so I just think it would mean that there was more people to speak to for the people in Granby if that was wound into the thing. And I think this, for me, this is a hangover from when the parish was maybe a lot smaller than it is today.
It's the smallest.
It's the tiniest,
ward
makes
of
sense.
electoral.
Yeah, you have one there, couldn't you?
And I think it's 20 people turn out to vote.
Anyone else want to say anything? Okay, Clark, do you feel you have enough?
Yes, do you want to vote on all these individually?
Do members want to vote on block in one or? Yeah. So, so Ed, you actually made the first proposal. Are you happy to accept the other proposals that have been made to your proposal, or because I suppose that's really.
Could you sum up all the proposals?
Yeah.
Newton Lee is to add the playing fields and the proposed new development from Manor South into Newton Lee, so it's complete.
We'll just add on to that, maybe just the whole landfill. So it's makes a bit more sense. Not that anything's going to be built there. Whatever.
Denby, Queensway and Denby North, there's two elements for what's to happen to that ward. One is the Prince's Way, Queensway line to be tidied up on either side, and the other is that Granby should be amalgamated with that ward. So there's fair distribution of councillors. And then the Lakes Estate wards to be combined, because the Lakes Estate is identifiable as a single location. There's a lot of development and changes happening, and it's all 1 acre.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, so that's a proposal. I'm happy to second. Are there, so everybody, all those in favour? Anybody against? Abstentions? That is carried unanimously.
And this is the informal consultation prior to the formal one, just to remind everyone.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is financial matters. Item 8, with 8.1 to note summary financial report showing income and expenditure against budget to date. This is page 47 in your pack this evening. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this item? Okay, so members happy to note the reports? Yes, thank you. Next item is 8.2 to consider a budget environment to allow for the purchase of additional equipment for events. So this is page 49 on your pack, and I think in summary there are 4 gazebos that we have that require replacement as a result of wear and tear over the years, and the community event support service officer would like to purchase replacement gazebos, additional rubber weight for the gazebos, and a new branded flag and table covers. A quote has been obtained.
There's been more than one quote obtained,
yeah.
but that's the quote that's been put forward as being the cheapest.
Okay, so I think that the quote from the cheapest provider is £5,015.96, and this would be funded from the underspend in the community engagement budget. Doesn't say in the report, what are the tops for the gazebos, branded ones or unbranded?
I think that's a matter for you to decide. I mean, I think it's useful to have some of these.
They're the white ones, which are a bit grubby now. Not new ones, are they?
Then I think these are mostly the white ones.
These are branded, so the replacement, you mean?
Yeah,
The ones that are going,
the white ones.
they're.
We're going to donate them somewhere, are we? Or
So the reason I asked the question is because if we're going to replace the white ones, can I suggest that, and we're going to get branded ones, can I suggest that we also get white covers for them as well? Because a lot of the people that we support in the community that wouldn't, they actually prefer to have unbranded ones because it looks like that it's a Bletchley and Fenny Stratford Town Council event rather, and also if there was anything negative happened at an event that was not ours, we actually might not want to have the branding there. So I was going to suggest that we change, or my proposal would be that we sign off this quote, but also we ask them to, and we delegate it to to officers to actually negotiate to get 4 white covers as well, and that they.
Can I suggest that we have black covers?
Yeah, or black covers.
Good
Happy
idea.
with black covers. Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they show the mould.
Everything, yeah.
You get green covers?
Yeah, we get green,
Plain green covers or?
black or green.
I'll leave it to you. I would ask that so first of all, I'll put forward that proposal. Are members happy for the additional 4 things? Yeah, to have a seconder. So it's we're asking members to agree to the environment of £515.96 to pay for the 4.
5,000.
Oh, sorry, £5,015.96. What did I say? Sorry.
500.
Oh, did I? To be funded from the community engagement project, but also to delegate to officers to purchase 4 unbranded covers in addition. So all those members in favour, anybody against, and any abstentions? That is unanimous. Thank
No,
you.
I was against.
Oh, sorry, against. 1 against.
What did I have to say?
No, I said 1 against. Next item is 8.3, to ratify a list of payments made or due to be made by the council before the next meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee. Are there any questions or comments around this? No? There is also a separate list of invoices due for payment by direct debit. Are there any comments on this? No? Next item on the agenda is item 9, to review the council's delivery plan for the year 2024 to 2025 and to note the council's existing strategic priorities and values. Anything you want to talk about that?
I would like to speak to this if
Yeah.
I'm allowed to,
Yeah.
please. So this is the council's delivery plan for the year, and this is the last full council meeting of this council year. The next full council meeting, unless we have an extraordinary meeting, will be the annual meeting of the council in May. The delivery plan doesn't include any business as usual. This is just projects that have been set by the town council and either delivered or not delivered during the course of the year. I would like to produce a new delivery plan for the council, ready for the next annual meeting. But at this stage, I think I need a little bit more clarity about whether the council wishes to continue with its existing strategic priorities or whether you'd like to go back and look at those again. We've had that set as priorities since 2021, and it was due to be reconsidered in 2020. So happy to answer any questions on the delivery plan and would appreciate guidance or thoughts about additional projects. There is no budget for any project, then it's going to be difficult to deliver them. So we've got, I can have that bank account stab at that document, but it's a question of whether you've got things you want to
So I think I'm fine with the work plan. I think there's some things we will on track, but there's some things that we will complete, and there's some things that aren't necessarily going to be completed, and that's kind of all stated in there. Just in terms of strategic priorities, I noticed it's 21 to 2025. Last May, we had a new council elected, although many of the same faces that were here. A new council was elected, and I do wonder whether there's an opportunity that we may want to do something. And I don't quite know the format that should take, or well, I've got ideas potentially how it could happen, or there are lots of different ways you could develop a site. But I do think it's probably time to think. We're now after this COVID period, then this was switching into 2021 where we would have been in the middle of COVID. We're now into a slightly different space, where it's where we're spending some time reviewing the strategic priorities of the council over the next few months, for the next 4 or 5 years, maybe. I think it's a good time to refresh
Any
that.
comments or questions? Sorry.
And KCCF strategic priorities,
Yes.
I mean, are they up for renewal as well, or are they?
So we've got strategy to 2050, and then we have the city council has they will, at the moment we've got a 2-year council plan, which outlines, but there's a strategic thing to 2050, and there's a council plan developed usually every single year, but we've kind of got 2 years because of the gap in
I'm
elections.
just thinking about alignment.
Yeah.
That sort of, you want to be on step, really, don't you?
I'm sure we'll do some work.
Worth a check against them.
I think it's right that some of the, for example, some of the work that we've done during the course of this year to do with the town deal
Yeah.
has obviously been aligned with what the city council
Little good as well.
do. So
We should do a review.
I mean,
I think off the back of what Ed said about new councillors that have just come on board, it'd be quite good for all the new councillors to get involved in, say, a meeting, to get your heads around a strategic plan. And obviously, we've got a neighbourhood plan, is a massive project that we've been undertaking. There's stuff that we have to finish off. I'm definitely wants to finish off this neighbourhood plan. It's crucial to the future of Bletchley. The Lakes Effect's got a neighbourhood plan, but we haven't in central Bletchley and Fenny Stratford. And it's important that we finish that piece of work off, as far as I'm concerned. And some of the new councillors really need to look at the ethos of the council so that you get a general idea of where this council is heading. And so that when you're doing your work in your wards, you know what to speak about. Do you know what I mean? So I do think it's important that we finish off the neighbourhood plan and we get our heads around what the strategic plan is. So it's my.
And I think just to add to that, we know that quite a few meetings have had to be cancelled on the steering committee for the neighbourhood plan due to really low attendance. And I know that so many people here are really passionate about planning. The neighbourhood plan is like the only way that we can actually have some input into what is appropriate development in our community. Well, it's not the only way, but actually it's the strongest way in which we can have. So I would really, really encourage people to be there. And if people don't feel that they know much about the neighbourhood plan, then contact Hirsch, contact Richard, contact me, contact DVR. We're really happy to talk to people, but we really need to have people there. And I think that we're getting to the point where it's a lot of the kind of policy thinking and policy thoughts has been done. We're now getting to the point where we need to get this through a referendum. We need to get people to vote for it. And that means that we have to get you able to articulate the reasons why it's
18th of March, next meeting.
which then
Online or in person, but I think, yeah, online, yeah, should be fairly easy to sign up for.
it's not a public meeting. It's a meeting. It's an informal meeting of council to discuss the neighbourhood plan. So everyone's welcome.
If you can join on Teams, We don't care whether you're eating your dinner when you when you're doing the meeting. It's not a meeting that will be broadcast. It is just an informal meeting, so it would be great if people could attend.
Are we going to receive invitations on email?
If you want an
Yeah,
invitation, we can get the invitation sent around on email.
Please, that would be helpful.
I think just before the meeting, we did have some councillors who said when something goes into the calendar, they know that if it's an email, sometimes it gets lost. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for that.
So, I'm sorry, I'm just not quite clear about what we're going to do about the strategic priorities. I don't know if you've made a decision and I've missed it.
I thought that we was going to, I've suggested to hold a meeting so that we can all get together and start to speak about this. Is it a full council to speak about it, or do we arrange a meeting so that some of the new councillors can get their heads around it all and we can have an open discussion about it and then make some decisions about it?
I have to make a suggestion, and do feel free to pick it apart. I think should we send out the existing strategic plan and also the strategic priorities that we set and the values, and send those out via email for everybody. Ask people to, critically evaluate whether that's what we should be doing in the future. I think also if we could maybe get as Councillor Stevens said earlier, circulate the 2-year plan for the City Council, so we can actually see what another council's is like, and then we can make some suggestions, and then we go into a meeting actually to talk about the suggestions that have been received, rather than I think that would be a good start maybe.
I'll make sure that those documents are circulated, and perhaps we can revisit this at the annual meeting in May.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is item 10, to receive clerk's report on matters concerning Bletchley Town Centre, including parking, cleansing, the current closure of Bletchley Post Office, proposals for a banking hub, and collaboration with Milton Keynes City Council Town Hall project. There is a paper and it's page 71.
May I just speak to this briefly?
Yes.
I've tried to make the report as concise as possible, but there are a couple of updates since I wrote the report. One of which concerns our toilets. We are because of the struggling to find my words. I've only just been made aware of this, but the water pressure in the toilets has always been a problem, and it continues to be a problem. And since the changes have been put in place, it's even more a problem than it was previously. I think the toilet's being used more, but also it's partly to do with the way that the water's heated. So we are going to have to do our work on the public conveniences is not completed. There is going to have to be another piece of work done to look at how we can improve the water pressure, particularly in the gents toilets, which is furthest away. It's a very long run from the tank, which isn't very high up. So we've got to sort of come up with a solution. So we're working on that at the moment. So if anyone's getting feedback about the poor water pressure in the toilets, we do know about it, and we also come back to them.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from members? No, so everybody's happy to note that report. Yes?
Yeah.
Would it be possible for the council to, as well as just noting the report, to again, it aligns with the delivery plan and the strategic priorities of the council, to think some more about the approach that they want to take to the town centre in the future. It is an important time for Bletchley, with the town centre changing and being developed in so many different ways over the future. I think this is an area where the town council, it might be beneficial for the town council to again spend some time thinking about its approach to the town centre. And as Councillor Graham's alluded to, it is closely connected to the neighbourhood plan. But I think it would help officers, and I think it might help the community, if we could be clearer about what our approach is to all the different aspects of the future of the town centre.
Yeah, the only problem that I've got is about the detail, and until we sort of like understand what really is going to be coming, then what view do we take? I mean, the majority of this is done by the town deal board, but we don't have much say apart from the fact that, you know, in Bletchley Town Centre, as you look at it right now, we know about the parking, we know about the street lights, we want a safer place for people to come, we want more safer routes, more lighting. We've talked about possible CCTV camera going up in our town centre. You know, what's the detail? And until we can see the detail, for me, you know, how can we make decisions? I do think that we can take a view as a town council, but there's people with different objectives and different views and points of views at the end of the day. But how do we come to a consensus?
I think maybe that you're right, and after the public consultation and the public realm improvement proposals, which is going to happen in I think April or May, and that might be a better time to think about it. But I just think it's really important to flag up these issues and to start thinking about council's policy.
Ed, then Terry, then Ron.
So I think there's something, I don't disagree with you that once you see some detail, it's easier to comment on in terms of then what you want. But I think whoever's working on designs and something and planning for something, giving them some sort of shape as a town council of what kind of is important in terms of the town centre. So is it making sure that we still have space for market stalls, either that because we may want to run a market on a regular basis or specialised markets every so often, event space, etc. And what facilities we might need to do if we've got things like if there's planting or something that actually are there some things that need to be said early so that they can shape that into the detailed designs, because once you go through the detailed designs, it's then going to be quite difficult to change stuff again. And so actually feeding some of that in early and some of that shape about what we want some of that space in the town centre to be, I think is really important. The amount of times I've seen stuff that comes through and then actually a lot of the work's been done and then you can't really undo it, and then that becomes a problem. So I don't know if anyone else has got any thoughts on that.
Mine's around public realm. Do we still have an opportunity to comment on public realm? Sort of things we'd like to see?
Yes, I mean there was the opportunity of the last public consultation, and I mean I have seen not the final plans, but I've seen slightly more detailed plans, and I think that when those are available, they will come.
Yeah.
My understanding is that they will come to the two local councils before they go to public consultation, so there will be that opportunity.
Yeah.
Would they already have decided by that point?
There's four bits I just think about. It's one of the vacant shops. Is businesses are leaving Bletchley, so what's the incentive for them to stay and engage with MPC? You know, to talk to the business and say this is happening, incentivise them more. Men in sheds, or we've had a community shop where you can rent stuff out for a really cheap sort of price. Again, the vacant buildings we've got, it's subject to planning permission, push them on a bit because it's kind of a bit tatty. I know we've been through this ground a few times, but it's still there. And the other thing is sort of like more about the outdoor spaces. So we've got standing square there. You could put, you know, these outdoor table tennis tables you can have, or hopscotch. You know, you could have a few of those. Like kids would just draw, you know, a bit of chalk on the floor and do hopscotch. And I thought about water feature, but then I thought that could be, you know, bit hazardous. It's just other thoughts.
I think there is an intention to, this is something that came through in the public consultation on the public realm. That there should be a more playful element within the town centre. So I think that is something that the landscape architects are thinking about at the moment and how that could happen. And I know they've also been looking at lighting, which I've mentioned in the report, because there is this issue about, is it sustainable for the town council to continue providing this is lighting at what is quite a large cost for 6 weeks of the year. So again, you know, this again, so we see more, we don't know. I mean, officers have attended, as I say, a workshop with officers at Milton Keynes Council, and what we've tried to do as your officer team is present everything we know about what the town council's wanted to do in the past and has talked about what it might want to do in the future, so that the designs keep everything as open and flexible as possible. But I think, it's difficult. It is difficult without seeing plans, and hopefully we will see those plans soon.
Was there any specific decisions that you wanted from councillors tonight?
No, not necessarily, but I would really like the council to give the officers clear steer. You know, we are here to support you, and it's your views that we need to be representing. So a clearer, you know, we rely on the budget as our the tool that really guides us in terms of what we do and our activities, and that's a very key, you know, probably our most key document in terms of how we decide what to do and what we're doing. But I feel that as an officer team, we would benefit from more and more specific objectives. And we haven't looked at objectives since we had those consultants in who came actually before 2020. And they did an exercise with the councillors looking at what councillors wanted to achieve. And I think that's something that's worth thinking about for the future.
So I've got a couple of concerns. So my main concern is when the Brunel Centre finishes and they've not got no actual proper plans and ready to go, it's going to be boarded up and left, and we're going to end up with the same problem we had with Sainsbury's and the old working men's clubs of people getting in, doing damage and doing things in there they shouldn't be doing, and then it's going to cause more hassle and more damage. Where they should be coming to a plan. They've got about 14, 15 months before everyone should be out of there. And I want to see a plan of what they got. If they haven't got no one to work with them, what they're going to do. Because months go by so quickly. Because I've always wanted a brand new, even though we've done our toilets and everyone thinks they look great, you know, but they're not going to last for 4 or 5 years. So if they've got 15 months for the shops, and it's going to take, what, 3 years to redo it? Must be. So therefore, our toilets will be out of date and old again. And so I want to see a nice new toilet somewhere, you know, and I want to see more activities for everybody, not just young, the old, where they can sit quietly, somewhere quietly in the town and relax, you know. But there's no fault in anywhere. All there is, oh, we'll build this, we'll build that, but there's no fault that goes behind it. And also with the shops, as you say, this shop, that shop, but you've got an element of landlords that as soon as the shop comes empty, dives in there, and then they overcharge the poor people that want to open the shop and do business and want to stay here, but they can't because they can't afford the rent. And people say to me, why don't your council buy it? I said, well, you've not got the sort of money to buy the buildings. I said, but maybe Milton Keynes Council can rent off the landlord and re-rent them out at a fair price, not at an old price, you know, at a high price. You know, there's ways of looking through things that we need to do to sharpen the town up, because shops come and go, but we want them to stay.
Yeah, I fully understand everything you're saying, but I think that any council who's going to buy any property at the moment and seeks to use the Public Works Loan Board to buy it, is going to find it very difficult to do it because
No, but
councils
no,
have
not
got-
just buy it. If they can't buy it, rent it, then re-rent it out. But not the colossal price these landlords are doing, just at a fairer price, so they get their money back, what they're paying out, plus a bit on top, so they can rent the next shop.
Amen.
We've had two big jobs done in Bletchley, Queensway. We've lost control of both of them at the end. There was never snagging done on either of the jobs. The damage done during the construction of it was never repaired. First of all, when Bletchley Road, Queensway was first done, they got their retention without coming back to do the snagging. The damage is still there, so we lost control of the job. Fixing the links, they're happy with their zebra crossings, but that's all that we had done. Because the agent didn't know from his elbow, he couldn't get in touch with the gas board for 6 weeks to run a job up, race the job along. And we've still got the Berlin Wall, and that's what it was all about, to take the Berlin Wall down. So whatever we do, we've got to keep a tight rein on it. Otherwise, these people just walk about, they don't come back. There's damage on the roundabout outside the Working Men's Club that was done by the firm that put the little blocks in the tarmac on the road. They hit the roundabout with their roller, took a big chunk out of it, and it's still the same to this day. So it's no good having all this, spending all these millions of pounds if the job's not finished and run correctly.
I've always had a problem with patch fixing the town centre. What I mean by patch fixing it, like you said, Eamon, little bits get done here, little bits get done there. You know, they put all the planters or the bollards up in the town centre to stop the park. It looks okay, but it's just patch fixing our town centre until we get detail. We've got some detail, but until we get real detail, I don't know how we're going to sort of think about the feel and look of the town centre for the next 10, 20, 30 years from now. How do you do that? Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I've got a problem with patch fixing the town centre.
I don't know what you're going on about patch fixing. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the job itself. We lost control of it. When we went up there to have a look, when we were watching them put that cycle run down the steps, nobody even knew what it was. And I said, you could at least make it the same colour, put some concrete dye in it. Flimsy little railings has made it really dangerous. The concrete finishing on the ramp is the worst you could find it anywhere in Milton Keynes. In fact, I've done footings that are better than that. That's exposed. It's a disgrace. And they just walked away from it.
I think we'll bring that item to a close. I think that if anyone's got any thoughts about the report, any kind of suggestions, then please let us know and we can give some further consideration to that. So the final item is now item 11, which is to receive an update report on the Sycamore Building project.
Yes, so this is an oral report. You'll recall that in November, the Town Council approved the resolution to borrow. Therefore, we submitted our borrowing application to the County Association at the end of November. There was a bit of a delay with the application with the County Association. It then went to the relevant government department in January, and we were asked to provide some more information supporting the application, which we have done, and that has gone in, so we're now waiting to hear, and that's where we're up to.
Any questions for the clerk? No, I think that we'll all be very happy to see this kind of move on, and no doubt the officer team also will. Brilliant. Okay, so thank you very much for everyone's attendance this evening. That brings our council meeting to a close. For those people that have joined us online this evening, thank you very much for attending, and I look forward to seeing you at a future council meeting.